Namaste. I'm going to lead a gentle flow practice today for anyone who doesn't want to do anything too vigorous. Please be aware that you don't have to do everything, and you may not look like me when you're doing the postures, and that's okay. Just meet and greet yourself where you are, with paying attention to your body, how it feels, and listening to your own inner voice for guidance. The philosophy of no pain, no gain does not translate to yoga. So the theme, even though it's not going to be terribly in depth today, is something that I've always found inspirational. Like many of you, I think since the moment we were probably born, we have been exposed to music, whether it was lullabies or, our parents singing or playing the radio or going through grade school and taking music classes. And then, of course, as we age and develop, we start to learn our own musical taste. And many of us stick to one or multiple genres because, as we know, every genre of music has something unique that it expresses. So there's a famous composer who said a long time ago, music is the space between the notes. And I love to bring this up occasionally in yoga because really the purpose of yoga and meditation, the true goal is liberation. We're trying to free up our minds so we're not confined. So we're breaking down the barriers of the mind. So that we're breaking free of distractions and judgments and things of that nature. The same thing with the body. We're trying to free the body up so it's more mobile. So when you think about the yoga practice, we often mention synchronizing movement with breath. And when we synchronize breath with movement, it allows us not only to have something to focus on, but that internal focus of moving our body in sync with the breath will help us to purify the state of our mind. And it will take us into that space, right, between thoughts. And sometimes even when we're holding a pose in stillness, or when we're pausing in between poses, or doing our centering or our shavasana at the end, our deep relaxation, that allows us to also enter into that space. And any thought that percolates up to the mind is like a music note. So this idea that music is the space between the notes, that space between the notes is what allows it to either resonate or reverberate or give it a certain measure of expression. So I'd like you to be contemplative about that as we go through our practice. Think of your body as being the wind instrument, and you are trying to synchronize again the breath with the movement, but the breath is what's going to give your instrument that voice to be a part of the symphony of life. So we're going to do a gentle flow. There's going to be a little Vini yoga in the mix. I love Vini yoga. I'm not certified in it, but I've taken quite a few classes in it, and there is something really special about it. So we're going to start sitting up. And I thought today I would not use props because I know a lot of you at home don't have props. However, if it's uncomfortable to sit, please know you can get a pillow or a folded blanket, to boost the hips higher, especially if your knees are up like this. It'll just make it more comfortable to sit. So we'll start centering in our seats, sitting in any position that's comfortable for you. However that translates to the lower body, so that you're available to really extend your spine. Feeling as though you're dropping down through the tailbone and rising upward through the crown of the head, providing space in between each vertebra. Notice as you create this lengthening effect, the shoulders naturally drop away. go ahead and close your eyes or have them at half mast. If they're at half mast, just gaze at one spot in front of you. And take time to begin to breathe in and out through your nose. And maybe at first just bearing witness to it, and then beginning to take the reins of the breath. Think about, even if you're sustaining a note, you would need a deeper breath. So I want you to feel as though you are micromanaging your breath, breathing with as much depth and control as possible, increasing your air supply into your lungs. Let's take 3 more breaths. Maybe even noticing how your upper body springs slightly upward as you inhale. And how it sinks and descends slightly on the exhale. Now join your palms together to prayer position at your heart. And let's begin. Crack the eyelids open, and as you inhale, circle the arms up overhead. And as you exhale, bring the hand straight down your midline to your heart center. Again, inhale. And if you want to open up your throat, you can gaze up. And as you exhale, you're welcome to also bow the head, chin to chest. Continue with this repetition. Imagining you're opening yourself up on the in-breath, gathering whatever it is that you need. And as you exhale, imagine that you're bringing that home to the heart. One more. Now we're going to change this up a bit. On your next inhale, lift the arms up overhead. As you exhale, flip your hands open and allow the fingertips to descend to the earth. Bring the hands to the heart. As you inhale, lift them straight up. And as you exhale, let them pour down to the floor. Another inhale. Exhale it out. One more. Rejoin your hands to Anjali Mudra, and then we're going to blend the two together now. So inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Exhale, bring it down to the heart. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, let the hands spill back down. Inhale. Exhale, close it down to the center of the chest. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, fan the arms nice and wide. One more of those. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer position. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, release the hands gently down to the earth. On your next in-breath, you're going to uplift your left arm skyward and exhale, tilt over to the right. Inhale, lift both arms overhead. And then exhale, descend your right hand and then forward to the left. It's okay if you've started going to the wrong side. You're just going to continue to inhale, rainbow the arms up, and then exhale, take them to the side. So we're just taking this in sync with our breath. And of course, your pace may vary different than mine. since we all have a different lung capacity. Do one more to the other side. And then inhale, reach just the left arm skyward, bring the hand back down to the floor, and then we're gonna press the wrist off to the sides, radiating the arms, uplifting the fingertips skyward. This is gonna be the inhale. Exhale, we're just simply going to point the fingers down. Inhale, flexing and pressing out through the heel of the hand, and then exhale, flopping it back down. Continue. One more. Now rotate your wrist and slowly bring them closer together, and then reverse the rotation of the wrist and slowly sail them apart. And release. All right, I'm going to turn sideways for the next one. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us, and then we're going to bend the right knee. I'm going to show you different ways to do cradle to leg pose. So if you're lifting this leg up, there's various ways to do it, and you may just have a certain preference, or there may be a certain body mechanic that works best for you. So some people like to hook the arms up underneath the calf, and of course you may just be holding it with your wrist, depending on how much range of motion you have. So it's okay to be here, you're still doing it. Some people prefer holding it with the hand, so one hand to the foot, one hand to the outer knee. Please don't be discouraged if you can't do this, but if you can, see if you can hook the arm around the sole of the foot, but if the foot tends to sickle, and if you can see the base of the foot, you want to push the mound of the big toe and the inner heel towards your arm. And then your right arm will cradle around the right leg. All right, this is called cradle to leg pose. So notice if you're slouching. Sometimes we're slouching just to get the leg in closer to the upper body, but it would actually be better to hold it with your hands if that allows you to have the full extension of your back. So find one that works, and then we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine, and then as you exhale, you're hugging this leg closer to yourself. We're going to do that several times. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, squeeze it in. Now, on your next inhale, remain here as you are, but as you exhale, you're going to rock forward. And then we're just going to do this with repetition. Inhale, realign at center, and then as you exhale, hinge forward. Again, it depends on the hips, the hamstrings, the low back. So just practice with caution. And remember, it's meant to be gentle. So if this hold is not gentle, go to another hold with your arms. Once you rise back up, we're going to do rock the baby. Rock the baby. You're just kind of twisting side to side. Some people like to rock back and forth on the sit bones. I tend to lose my balance, so I prefer this one with the twist. And then we're going to release. Now take a moment to pause in Dandasana. You don't necessarily have to flex the feet. In fact, keep them somewhat relaxed. Pause and close your eyes, and you may even feel the difference on the side that we were just working. Again, it's okay if you're not tuned in or if you didn't awaken it enough yet. Bend your left knee, and we'll start from here. Remember that first hold I shared. You're holding it with your arms under the calf, and you can even hook them a little bit farther underneath. You can take the hand hold. The leg may be lower to the lap. It may be able to lift higher up. And then again, if it's in your range of potential to hook the arm around, again, don't get frustrated. I've been doing yoga 20 years at this point, so I probably didn't start off this way. Push the mount of the big toe, the inner heel towards the arm. That way you're getting that nice dorsiflexion in the foot. You're also allowing that protection for the knee. We'll do cradle to leg pose first. So inhale, extend the stem of the spine, and then as you exhale, you're squeezing in. All right, continue. Couple more. Remember, you're in control of how much or how little you give yourself. And then we'll rock back and forth. So the exhale takes us into the forward fold. The inhale lifts us back up. Again, this rocking motion back and forth, and even rocking obviously is very soothing. We know that from rocking infants and toddlers to sleep, but we also know that whenever we're feeling grief or sadness or loneliness and someone comes to embrace us and maybe they rock us gently, oh, it's so soothing. It's been known that certain meditators out in the East rock as they meditate. And it is also recorded that some people with mental illness find that rocking can soothe them. All right, we'll come back up to the top. And once you come back up to the top, rock the baby pose. So again, you may prefer the little twist like I do. You may prefer the actual rocking side to side. And then we'll release. So now that we have worked a little bit in the upper body and the lower body, I want you to slide forward down your mat, separate the feet, and just kind of roll down to your back. Nestle in for a little mini Shavasana. Now this point may be where you take that pause, like that space in between the notes, and just notice the difference in your mind and body already. And even affirm mentally within, bones, muscles, movement, I surrender now. Anxiety, elation, depression, and any and all turning thoughts, I now give over to the hands of peace. On your next inhale, walk the feet a little closer together and extend the arms overhead. You don't have to be too vigorous with this or too active with it. It can be very light and airy. But as you exhale, we're going to bring the arms around in front and we're going to gently hug the left knee. And then we're going to alternate sides. Inhale, stretch the limbs of the body. And then exhale, take your right knee and hug it lightly into yourself. Continue this back and forth. And if you want to keep the eyes open or closed, if you want to activate Ujjayi Pranayama, to do this slow flow, you're welcome to. I say all the time in class, we don't have to synchronize with each other. I know you see that a lot in yoga videos, but it's not reality because we do have different lung capacity as far as how much oxygen we're drawing in and out. So think about a symphony or an orchestra. You know, there's many, many instruments, but at different times, different sections of that orchestra are going to play. My son plays percussion in the school band, and we were playing Uno Dare last night. and he had to share an embarrassing moment. I think it was Uno Dare. It was we were having game night, so I'm not sure what game it was. But anyway, he said one of his most embarrassing moments, he was playing the crash cymbal for a song, and he failed to come in at the particular time that he was supposed to, and he missed it by one note. And of course, he was the only instrument that sounded off. So there was some dissonance there. But think about it, you know, the person next to you doesn't have to act like they are a synchronized swimmer doing the exact same thing you are, just like you don't have to do the exact same thing or timing that I have, because that's what makes the music. All right, we're going to end with this one. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and extend both legs out and both arms overhead. And then as we exhale, we're going to take a hold of the knees. Now, I want you to take a hold of the knees, not to pull them in, but to see if you can get them fairly aligned. You may have to lift your head and just kind of check in. This may not be perfect, but you want the idea of the knees being elevated over the hips, not forward or drawn in too much. The feet are just going to kind of hover. Your arms are going to come alongside you, and I want you to flip your palms down, so if you need to grip your hands, you can. What we're going to do, this is going to be the inhale at the top, and as we exhale, we're going to lean the legs to the left, just a portion of the way, maybe about, I don't know, 30, 45 degree angle, until you find that little point, that muscle, the piriformis, that usually is tight for all of us. Inhale, center, and then exhale, carry it across to the right. And one side may be more tender or sensitive than the other, and then you're just going to flow back and forth between the two. Right, so inhale to the top, exhale over to one side. So you're getting a little bit of a twist through your belly and low back as well. If you need additional support for this, just draw that navel center in and up towards your ribs. And if you find that one side in the glutes is a little bit more sensitive, for me it's the left today, find that point where you feel that sensation, and you can pause there, and you can even do a little bit of a wiggle there. Sometimes in class we've brought out pinky balls or tennis balls and lined it up underneath. I'm going to go to the other side too and wiggle a little bit, because I know it needs it. Oh, there it is. All right. Now, when you bring your knees back up, you're welcome to keep it here. You're welcome to draw them in more. It really depends on your back. But you're going to completely roll to your left side, and you're going to stack your right hand over your left. As you inhale, we're going to float the right arm up and all the way across. I wouldn't turn the head unless the shoulder gets grounded. And then exhale, slowly bring the right arm back, palm to palm, rolling to the left temple. Inhale, roll to the back of the skull as you sweep the right arm to the other side. And then exhale, exit the twist. Now allow your concentration and your effort to be on synchronizing the movement to the breath. You want the breath to guide the movement, so the initiation of your inhale begins the lifting of the hand. You complete that at the pace where you complete the inhale is where the hand lands. When you initiate the exhale, the hand floats back up and returns back to where you started. All right, now gently roll to center. Drop the feet to the floor. The knees can be together or apart, and just take pause. Take a moment of stillness. Feel the residual effects. I don't think we do that enough in modern Americanized yoga. And then we'll move to the other side. So you can pick up the feet. You can roll to the outer right hip, shoulder and temple, stacking the hands. Same approach, same idea. Inhale, left arm is now on the rise. And it fans to the other side of the body. And then as you exhale, you bring it back to where you started. Continue. So I'm just going to let you continue. Just do a couple more. We're not as structured with this gentle flow, so it's okay for the fingers to be a little limp and for the wrist to be a little loose. Once you close out of the twist, roll back to your spine. And this time we're going to keep the arms to the sides, but our inhale is going to lift the legs up in the air, and you can power as much in all these different expressions or as little as you would like, okay? Exhale, we're going to come to Apanasana, wind release pose. Inhale and exhale. So think about the quality of the breath. If I wasn't speaking to you now, this would be a lot slower. Since we're not using music, you can always allow the audible breath to be your music, or you can even add in the mantra Om as you exhale. You can chant that aloud, or you could just repeat it silently within. Pause here in Apanasana, affirming as you do so, I reduce all my scattered forces to rise up and away into the sky. All that sensory input, the overload of information, distractions, judgments, anything that may be impure or untrue. All right, release the feet to the floor. All right, let's take a little mini Shavasana again. Check in with how you feel from the inside out. Now we're going to turn the palms down right alongside your body on the sticky mat. You're going to bring the feet a little closer together. We're just going to focus again on one side at a time. So as you inhale, point your left foot, lift it skyward. As you exhale, press out through the heel and gently lower it towards the floor. And it can actually touch the floor if you prefer. I'm going to hover. Inhale, point and lift. These are single leg lifts. We're just warming up the leg, the hamstrings before we stand. Some people even like to bend the other leg. So if that makes you feel a little bit more stationed, then I actually like this. And now straighten both legs. And then if you want to bend that left knee, which I'm going to do because I actually really like that. Point the right foot, lift it up as you inhale. Flex and lower on the exhale. Again, you can sink it all the way down or you can hover. Single leg lifts. One more. Now extend both legs, but separate the feet. Flip the hands open about a 30-degree angle away from the body. And again, you're taking that pause. You're making that space to create your own music. Remember, music or yoga is to the body what music is to the soul. Now bend the knees. Once you bend the knees, roll over to one side of your body. Press into that hand, gently rise up. We're going to come to stand. So I'm going to switch directions here. I'm going to stand here at the top of the mat. And once you stand here at the top of the mat, again, because it's gentle, you don't have to be as structurally aligned. You don't have to be as fierce with your muscles. But we're going to bring hands to prayer position at the heart. And as you inhale, sweep the arms to your sides and up. And if that causes any issues with the shoulders, you're welcome to float the hands up this way. So there's not that external rotation here. So you're welcome again to do this or this. And then as we exhale, we're going to fold to Uttanasana. And it's okay to have a little bend in the knees since we're being gentle. And then inhale, I'm going to come up this way just to show you the difference. And exhale, pour back down. Inhale, the arms can reach to the sides and overhead. And exhale down. Either formation is fine. You can even change it up just to make it different. From here, you're going to step your left foot back. You're not going to go at a great distance, but you're going to plant the back foot and you're going to float the hands and come up. Now, work on the foundation of the feet first. And then bend into that front knee. Slightly tee off and square the hips. All right, the arms are going to just dangle here. But as we inhale, we're pedaling down through the right foot in order to straighten out the front leg. And then as we exhale, the arms will slowly lower and we'll lunge the knee. Let's do 2 more. Return the hands to the hips and spin away from the back heel. And you may want to wiggle them back just a bit. Now, if your balance is really unsturdy today, and balance can change according to our body chemistry, our focus, stress levels, medication, right? Balance can change day to day, moment to moment. So if you need to or bring a chair in front of you, or use a countertop or something, some kind of table, you're welcome to do that. But I'm going to bring my arms overhead. Again, if you're using something to help you stabilize, just keep your hands here. Because what we're really going to be focusing on is the back leg. If you can stabilize and don't need something to help you to balance, you're bringing your hands down to prayer position as you lunge that back knee. The inhale, you'll push back through the left thigh bone. And then exhale, you'll start to bend into the back knee. Now inhale, bring the arms back up. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor and return the left foot to the top of the mat and bow down. Again, the knees can be slightly bent here to make it more easeful. And then we'll inhale, step the right foot way back, but plant the foot, float your hands. And then try to imagine you're cementing your feet down, or they're getting buried in wet sand. When you're pressing to the feet, slightly turning the right hip forward and making sure the front knee doesn't cave in. When you're ready, press down through the ball of the left foot and uplift your arms. Exhale, you're coming back into this variation of Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. You may feel a lot of sensation in your back calf muscles. You can limit the number if it's too much to do this many reps. Last one. Once you bring the hands down, place them back around your waist. Turn away from the back heel. Now, I see some people doing this, where the heel's off the floor, but it's not pointed to the back of the mat. So continue to turn that foot so that you feel as though your hip bones are level and both facing the front. Again, use something to help stabilize, or uplift your arms. And then exhale, bend the back knee. Continue. Gaze at one spot in front of you for better focus. Focusing the eye helps to focus the mind. It's okay if you're a little wobbly. I am too. Last one. Inhale, press back through the right leg. As you fly the arms overhead, exhale, bring the hands down to the mat. Step back into plank and exhale. Take extended child's pose. Inhale, you're rocking up to hands and knees, curling the toes, launching into Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then the exhale, we drop to the knees and fold back to Balasana. This is our new repetition. Now, if you find that your breath isn't long enough for that, I'll give you another variation. The inhale can be downward facing dog, and the exhale, you're dropping to tabletop. Inhale, down dog. Exhale, tabletop. tabletop. One more. Then from tabletop position, if you were going back to child's, just rejoin us in tabletop position. From tabletop position, we're going to strengthen the wrist and the upper body. So to strengthen the wrist, the first thing we're going to do is make sure that we're planting the shins and the feet and we're drawing up through the core. Now I'm going to give you a choice on how to build that wrist strength. So as you inhale, you can tilt forward, shoulders going past the crease of the wrist, and then exhale, making that more abstruse angle, leaning back. So this may be the point in your wrist where you need strength, and you will just do it with repetition, maybe just 3 to 5 times. Or you may discover that you need or enjoy leaning to the left and to the right. And you can even explore both as well. When you come back to center, the inhale is going to be tabletop, and the exhale, we're bending the arms, dropping and hovering. Inhale, pressing to the palms to re-lengthen the arm bones, and exhale, sink and hover. Again, 2 more if you can handle it. If not, take child's pose. Inhale, bring it up. Curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, slowly step the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Peeling your wrist up along the way. Maybe your hands have to lift entirely. It's all good. Nod your head yes or no. Feel as though you're opening up the valve of your mind that holds all those restless thoughts and distractions. And on your next inhalation, build yourself back up any way that's appropriate for your shoulders. And then exhale, bring hands home to the heart. All right, we're going to separate the feet. We're going to let the arms just kind of dangle alongside the body. We're going to do a twisting kriya. This twisting kriya, you can have the knees soft so that as you twist side to side, it's more manageable. Your arms are loose and limp like cooked noodles. Your head turns with. Some people like to really fly the arms and slap the body. I'm going to keep it more gentle today. And then when you come back to center, take your hands to face forward, and I would not suggest closing the eyes because after any twist is going to build the energy higher. You may start to feel a little lightheaded. So keep the eyes open. Gaze at one point in front of you, standing in this anatomical position. And again, find that pause. Find that stillness. When you're ready, separate your feet even wider, where the toes turn away from each other, and see if it's possible to bend the knees and come towards a squat. And it's okay if you have to stop in bear pose where the feet are more parallel, the core is contracted, and you're lengthening out through your back, and just taking residence on the knees. If you can drop lower into Malasana, then do that. Now we'll take the hands behind us, We'll come down to a seat. And I want you to bring the left foot in, then the right foot in front of that. This is a modified Siddhasana. Rest your hands on your lap and jut up through your sternum. And then as you exhale, you're going to lean over to the left side, circle across to the right, and inhale back to the top. Exhale, circle down and around over the lap, inhaling up. Feel free to close your eyes for this one. Sometimes we do this faster, and you're welcome to. And then rise back up to the top. Pause for a moment. And then swap the feet. Lift your chest. Exhale, lean to the right and circle to the left. One more. And then rise back up. All right, we're gonna bend the knees. And you can hold the back of your legs and scoop the belly in to roll to the floor. Your feet are gonna slide back. And when your head lowers, your arms are also gonna lower beside you. We're going to end with a bridge flow here. So as you inhale, press through the soles of the feet, energetically lift with your arms overhead, tracking by your ears, and then exhale, lower down. So sometimes we make this harder in class by putting a block between the knees so that you're containing that block, which helps you to keep the proper muscles engaged. But we're just going to keep it simple today. Last one. Now, arms to the sides, legs lift up. We did this earlier in the practice, but we're going to conclude with this before our breathing meditation. So this is the inhale, exhale, Apanasana. Go at your pace, in sync with your breath. Once you have it, there's no need to even look at the screen. Just pay attention to your own breath and movement. This is what makes it mindful motion, or a meditation in motion. All right, pausing here. And rolling over to one side. Coming up to take a seat. So this particular meditation that we're going to do requires, again, synchronizing breath with movement, since that's been consistent through this practice. And so the arms are going to be held out in front of us, the palms are open. And I want you to, I always think when I do this meditation, I often think of, you know, if you've ever gone hiking in the summer and it's just kind of humid, and all of a sudden you come to a brook or a creek, and one thing that we often do is run and go put our hands in the water. Or we scoop up some water and maybe splash our face, or take some of that water over the base of the neck, Or we even shed the shoes and kind of let the feet cool off. So think about how water is very cleansing and purifying. And we're going to imagine that a wave is coming up on the inhale, or that we're splashing this water over us. And then as we exhale, the palms press down in front of the body. And then the inhale, they open back up. And we're lifting them and bringing them towards the face. And then as we exhale, we lower. So just get this movement down first. And then we're going to try to control the breath and develop that self-mastery. Close the eyes when you're ready. Three more. Down. Place the palms down somewhere on your lap. Turn the lids of the eyes down. And all you have to do now is watch the breath. Watching the breath, you may find there's that natural still point in between your inhale and your exhale. You may even find a natural still point at the end of the exhale before you breathe in again. This is like the space between the notes of music. Makes each composition unique and expressive. And we are all unique expressions of the one. Let's sit in silence, creating this observation. One more minute. concluding this practice now by joining your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Bow your head humbly for the gift of music, for the gift of this ancient art and science of yoga.